Hey everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the Care Plan with Kendall Kares. I'm Kendall Kares, and I am here today with some very special guests. It's a little weird because normally they're interviewing me, asking me all the questions, wondering where I am, what I'm doing. But today I'm going to ask you guys some questions. So, for those of you who do not know, these are my parents, John and Eli Collier. They started HomeWell in 2019, right before COVID, and we're going to take a deep dive on their journey today. So, Dad and bonus mom, how are you guys doing today?
Excellent.
You excited to be here?
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, how does it feel being on this side of the conversation for once?
Kind of used to it. Have been interviewed a few times in my life. It's not too bad.
What about by your daughter, though? Is it a little
I
different?
don't believe I have ever been interviewed by my daughter before.
Not this way.
No.
Definitely not this way. Were either of you nervous about doing this today? I already know the answer. No, they already. We're a family full of big personalities, truly.
Yeah, not too worried.
All right, so are we getting real John Collier answers today or business owner questions?
Are those two different things?
Sometimes am I getting dad answers or business owner questions?
These should definitely be business owner.
Business owner? Okay. And then you're obviously here to keep us both on script, right?
Of course,
Keep us on track.
My job.
But I know they know HomeWell a little bit, but they obviously don't know you guys. So give me a quick rundown of how this conversation of HomeWell even started. How did this even begin?
I got laid off. I had been with the company for 17 years, been doing operations with them. And then one day they put about half of us in a conference room and the other half in a different conference room. And half of us got told, thank you very much for your time. You will be leaving us here in a few weeks. And the other half got told, your friends all got fired today. Be nice to them. So
great company. Huh?
It was up until then. Honestly, that was not their best move, but I really enjoyed the company up until then. So all good things there. That's when John suggested I look into starting my own business.
And how long had y'all been together at this point?
Year and a half.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
So we moved a little quick over here. They knew it very early on.
Yeah, we met, got married. You were in a full-time job. I was in a full-time job. We expected no different, and then boom, it changed. So
right.
Yeah, it was pretty sudden.
So you lost your job. You started looking into different stuff on his push there.
Yes.
How did we even get him in this though? I mean, he had a full-time job.
So research nerd.
Right.
Looked at every type of franchise available.
Before AI became a thing, by the way.
Way before AI.
Full on research before AI.
Google.
Right.
Yeah.
What's Google?
It's that old tiny thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I'm too young for that.
Engine. Yeah, go back in history. It's from the late 1900s.
Right.
So I looked at all the different types of franchises. I came across home care, which I didn't even know existed when I found it. Not something I had ever needed before in my life. And I thought, oh my gosh, a year and a half ago, had married this man who had been in healthcare for his whole career.
Right.
And I thought, let's do this together.
Right.
And his response was,
have you seen my paycheck?
Right. Right. So tell them a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so my background, I was a compliance officer with HCA, total of about 17 years in roles like that, 25 or so in healthcare overall, and was making a nice paycheck. She had just lost her paycheck. And so me walking away was a little challenging.
I can imagine. It's actually a funny little tidbit that I always think about. You literally got that job at HCA right around the time I was born.
I actually left the hospital the day after you were born to go do my first HCA interview.
So that's
immediately.
Wow. That's just crazy. And then he started this company my freshman year of college, right before COVID hit. And then I came home and fell into the business immediately within the first year. So it's just funny how that worked out so well with like my big life events as well. Were very big life events for you. So a little bit more coming into the company, coming into being a family business. How did you react to that? Because we were already a family formed, right? We
Yes.
were, welcoming a new parent figure into our lives at this point. So, were you nervous about putting kind of all your eggs in that basket and just diving into not only a family, but a family business at that point?
As far as diving into the family, I was not nervous about that. We were careful. We dated for a long time. We were very confident that we were going to be together before I got to meet you
Right.
guys. So that there wasn't a lot of transition for you guys. It was stable. And then I credit the two of you with allowing me the opportunity to prove. Right?
Right.
You didn't come in with the mindset of stepmom suck.
Right.
So I got the opportunity to meet you. You came with an open mind to meet me, and we all just clicked. So at that point,
Yes.
we were long past the awkward phase. I
Right.
think we were family by then.
And my little brother too. Just for you guys to know, I have a little brother as well. He just graduated high school. He's been in the first episode of this whole show, and he's gotten a much more experience of you as a parent, and I get
Yes.
a lot more of you kind of as a boss.
Yeah.
And you're still a parent in a lot of ways, but a lot of our relationship has become friend, boss, parent type of dynamic.
A lot of mixing because you were
17.
17 when I met you. So you were pretty well formed
Right.
into Kendall. So yeah, we have spent a lot of our time together in a lot of different overlapping roles.
Right. Our relationship is very unique. So when I came home from college because of COVID and everything, did y'all have a conversation about how to get me into being a caregiver? Was it a spur of the moment decision? Like, how did that thought process come about, joining your 18, 19-year-old daughter at that point into your family company that's on the ground building?
Well, I think the biggest thing on that is it was somewhat spur of the moment and then discussed. So
Right.
it was one of those dumb ideas that I have from time to time, and then we started talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Silly ideas.
Yeah. Your compassionate nature, I think, was what made us say, you know what, this be a way to make a little money, stay a little busy. But then it helped the business because early days of a business like this, there's always challenges getting enough caregivers. There's always a
Right.
challenge getting a shift covered.
What was the biggest challenge in starting off the company like this from the ground up?
I think that's really it. Is there's so many different shifts. It's hard to figure out what time of day or where or how fast do we need to start or anything else.
Right.
And matching that up to a caregiver population that needs hours. They need to know where it is they're expected to work.
Yes.
That makes it really tough in those early years in particular because you've only got a handful of caregivers.
All right. So, what do you think is a common misconception about caregiving and home care in general?
That it's easy.
Yeah.
I think
Right.
people say, we can just go find a caregiver, and it's all going to work out right. When this is such a personal business that the connection part matters so much.
Right.
The skill set needed for family A and family B may be completely different. And the personality styles may be perfect. Perfect fit in one case and a terrible fit in another.
Right. It's not a one size fit all situation.
No, it's not. It's a challenge all the time.
Right. It's something different every single day. And one of your famous quotes that I always think about is the only thing that doesn't change in healthcare is that everything changes.
Absolutely.
All the time.
It's one of my favorite quotes of yours. So what is a specific way, Eli, we haven't heard from you in a second, what is a specific way that HomeWell can really help families in those times of need?
So HomeWell, we pride ourselves in good matching, right? That's one of those things we get to know a client. They are a human being. They are not a list of skills that need to be matched, right? They are a person with, they've got different personalities. They've got different needs. And then they also have different ways they like to interact. Some
Right.
people really want a caregiver to kind of hide in the background, right?
Right.
To keep them feeling more independent. This person is just there
Right.
to assist. And
Quiet extra hands.
Yeah, yeah. And some of them really want someone who ultimately kind of becomes like a family member.
Yes.
And everything in between.
Right.
So a lot of what we do is matching the right person to the right person. And that's something we do very well.
So I hear a lot of, different needs for different clients and different caregivers, but we obviously have to put out some type of ad for this. We have to figure out what we're looking for when we're hiring these people. So what is the key factor when you're hiring a caregiver? What is the key thing that either of you look for?
Well, I can tell you from the beginning, it's the compassion. And skills we can train.
Right.
The technical details of what the job takes can be taught.
Right.
Having a heart and a passion and compassion for the person that you're helping is the only thing that is really a disqualifier to be able to do the kind of work. If you can't do that part, you can't do this work.
Right. No, I absolutely agree. So I think this is a really good spot. I kind of sprung this on you. Didn't give y'all much time to think about it because I want it to be. So this is our feel good moment. And what I want here is one of the reasons over the last 6 or 7 years that has really defined this experience for you, made you fall in love with it, made you feel like this decision has been the best decision you've made. Y'all each have one moment.
I don't know that I can pull a singular one, but it's a moment that gets repeated from time to time. I was a compliance officer.
Okay.
Not always the most popular person in the building. Nobody wanted to have to talk to compliance.
Do you think you're popular here?
Yes, as a matter of fact, you have to be. You guys all have to like me.
My paycheck.
That's right. That's right. But in all seriousness, I was really good at what I did. It's hard work. It's frustrating work, but nobody really wants to hear from you.
Right.
When we help these families, and at the end of services, for whatever reason, they move on to a different level of care. They pass away, unfortunately. But we get the note from the family, you really helped my mom. That's the moment for me. And fortunately, we're lucky enough to get those from time to time, right? And it always connects. That's what always connects for me.
Absolutely. Did you have anything you would like to add on it?
There was one specific time.
Yes.
It was one of those stories where the adult child called and I got to take the phone call. And she said, I really just wanted to tell you how amazing your caregivers were. But what she said to me stuck. She said, I got to be my mom's daughter through her last few days. I got to hold her hand. I got to just be with her. And I didn't have to be caregiver. They took care of all of that. So I got to be with my mom. And that got to me.
It's definitely a very powerful thing because they spend years before that kind of going back into that childhood role of I'm being taken care of again. And this time it's by somebody I've taken care of for the last 30 or 40 years. Or in this situation, it's a daughter who I've just added another kid to my list and it's my parent. It's a weird situation. And then we get to come in there and they still get to be the sassy parent that gives them a hard time from time to time. And
we don't have any of those. No.
It doesn't give a weird power dynamic, right? Because that's really the biggest issue with having your daughter be your caregiver is that power shift and not being able to have somebody, that sees you as the mother and parent you are.
I think the emotional piece of that though is another kind of level of what you're talking about there, because as a caregiver, I'm doing these tasks while I'm also sad that my parent is declining on me a little bit.
Yes.
And it's draining, it's tiring, it's mentally and emotionally exhausting. And we see the family members start getting just frazzled and they're beat down a little bit. They're tired. And the minute that caregiver can walk in there and take over the hard part, now they just get to love on their mom, right? They get to just restore some of their normal dynamic because somebody else is taking care of those people. So the dynamic is part of it, but the emotional piece
is much bigger.
I think that's what really drives a lot of it.
I definitely think you put it better than I did there. That was he's always doing that, you guys.
I might have been around a little longer.
A little bit longer, just my whole lifetime. All right, so I think here I'm going to go into our dynamic a little bit. I think this is the perfect part to do this. So me and you are obviously cut from the same cloth a little bit. Strong opinions, strong personalities. When me and Dad are working together and trying to solve a big problem, what's normally going through your head, Eli?
Honestly, a lot of times they are both saying the same thing, coming from a different angle, and swearing that the other one is not listening. I just step back and I listen most of the time, and y'all, you get there, right? You get there, but I can't tell you the number. No, I'm just saying, but I'm just saying. Well, I'm like, you're saying the same thing. You're both saying the exact same thing.
So we're very similar, to say the least.
Well, and the truth is, it always comes from the right place. Right. That's why you end up in the right place, because you're both fighting for taking good care of people. And that's why you're passionate about it. And so you end up in the same place ultimately.
Right. So, Dad, how has this dynamic been for the last 3 years? Was it weird having your daughter come in and be part of your company every day? Every time you're in a meeting, I'm there. I'm in all your meetings. You can't get rid of me. Truly, at this point.
We can debate that, but okay.
I'll be at your house. I'll be at your house. I know where you sleep. Yeah. I have a key to your house. So what's that dynamic like? What's it like being not only the big boss, but also a dad to somebody that's on your team?
Well, it's not really a hard thing in one way, in that being a boss, in my mind, a lot of times is like being a parent. Right. It's a lot like being a coach. It's a lot like being a teacher. That's where a boss really should function, I think. Right. You hope you're helping the people that work for you grow and develop and learn. Yeah. Well, that's a dad's job, right? It's a coach's job. I think in this case, I knew how to interact with you. Obviously, I've been there since day one.
You'd been my coach for a long time, too.
But I had also been your coach for a lot of years playing softball.
Right.
And I knew what I was getting into with what our dynamic would look like, right? I knew the places that we have tension points, but I knew the ways, in a lot of cases, to get through when you had a certain barrier that I expected, right?
Right.
So I think the fact that I was always able to have the feel for what worked with you and what approach with you just wasn't going to get through, helped a lot as we transitioned into this kind of role.
I think that's one of the beautiful things about this job. I started it straight out of college, and even during college, working under you. And I always think if I had gone and gotten a real job, a different job, if I had ever gone and gotten a job with somebody that wasn't my parents, how that dynamic would work. And I think it does help me be a better businesswoman, better professional, because we're able to have that deep conversation where you can kind of check what parts are me being Kendall versus me being a businesswoman, and help me to keep those things into line.
Well, and we all have our moments when we go the wrong direction with our thinking, right? And so I certainly did young in my career, had times when I made the wrong choice, the wrong behavior, the wrong approach. And I had mentors who coached me up and taught me to respond better. I think one of the keys for us is that dividing line, I'll call it, where we say, okay, we need to have this conversation as my dad.
Right.
And okay, this is your boss calling right now, saying, I need you to do this thing.
And I think we talk about that a lot. I think we do that on almost all of our phone calls. I called Eli yesterday and I said, hey, calling my stepmom real quick. Halfway through the conversation, we're talking about work.
We talked about work.
Because that's our lives at this point.
But we had our mother-daughter conversation
But I had
first.
my mother-daughter conversation first. And
and Kendall always talked about when I was coaching you guys, and Jake as well. But it's impossible for me to stop being that.
Right.
I have to be aware of that and sometimes not decide what I'm going to do next as dad because I need to be boss or coach or whatever at that moment. And so that is challenging, but you just have to kind of be self-aware of it, and you have to pay attention to what is the emotional part of being dad and what is the business sense of being the owner of a company like this.
Right, absolutely. What is it that you're most proud of when you look at the business today, both of you guys?
I am most proud of our team, our office team, but also our caregivers. We have wonderful people. We employ a lot of people, but there's no small amount of pressure in that. Mm-hmm. We are responsible to them. They count on us for livelihood in a lot of ways. But the people that we have are so amazing, and they are what make HomeWell wonderful. I give us a lot of credit for picking good people, but those people have then continued to grow and learn and develop. And that's what I'm truly proud of.
So when I talk about HomeWell, a lot of the times I tell people about how we have this family operation going on, right? We've got us three. We've got Maggie and Taylor, who are sisters. We've previously had other family members work with us. We still want to be that corporate backing that we have, right? So how do those two interact with each other to make that well-balanced experience?
That's a really good question because it's really difficult. You can be professional without losing the heart of what you're trying to do. Right. And so, yes, it's one thing to work with an actual family member. It's something else to bring new people into the family, right? And, I think back to somebody like Taylor. She starts off as a caregiver pretty much from day one. Mm-hmm. When we opened, and her ability to grow with us, her ability to become a part of that circle. And so a lot of it to me is and there's always a combat here, right? There's always the war between the two things that we've got to treat this like family while still running a business. And so finding the times to pull back from, okay, we got a little aggressive with how we were going to run that meeting, or, just the chop, order, pulling back from that. And then the times when we leaned a little bit too far into, okay, guys, it's time to get down to work. Right. We've been playing and casual and whatever else. So it's a balancing act.
It's two different sides of the spectrum here.
It absolutely is. And I think that's a place where Eli and I work well together. I mean, my background being much more corporate-y.
Mm-hmm. And Eli being a tutor and other things for a very long time.
Much more personal.
Yes.
And so I think the balance between the two of us, she has the much more hands-on, personal kinds of roles in her background. And I had the much more structured, more corporate roles in my background.
Right.
So finding the happy middle is it's a challenge sometimes.
I can definitely imagine just the dynamic with the team and having different people come in and out, because we've had some turnover lately, mm-hmm. right? We've had some difference in our teams lately. What are some things y'all take into account when y'all are adding a new person to the office team?
This is one of my favorite conversations. So person A leaves, you don't go try to hire the next person A.
Right.
You hire what the business needs then. And we've seen that over the course of 6.5 years, that every time the opportunity comes up to add to the team, it's not necessarily the thing that we thought we might add next.
Right.
So if I sat here today and said, approximately a year from now, we're going to be in a place of growth that we need to add somebody, I guess it's going to be, let's say, a scheduler.
Right.
we may very well get to that point, and the answer is we need another care manager.
Right. We need
Or
another
we need
salesperson.
another right. And
or
so
something completely different.
yes, and even that title of care manager, we have this skill set and this skill set in our team, but we don't really have this one.
Right.
Let's add a third care manager who's more like this skill set than these two. And so now you try to round out
Right.
kind of that bigger picture.
And I think that's the fun part about our company. We're small, right? We're 10-person team, 11 in the office, and we have so many different types of people. We have some single moms. We have, we have two 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds. We have in their 50s, just different people from all different types of demographics and age ranges.
Yeah.
Just all different types of people.
Too much of the same limits the number of new ideas you can have. And having it come from so many different places of experience and background and opinion and personality style, it just kind of makes it all richer. Like you get new approaches to the same problems because you're thinking about different. You get new opportunities that come because somebody else sees this set of opportunities and I only saw ones over here.
Right. All right, so enough of the serious stuff. We're going to play a fun little game to give us a little break here. We'll dive back into the client and caregiver stuff a little bit later before we log off. So we're playing Who's. I'm going to have Jake ask us a question over there in the corner, and then we are going to close our eyes and point to who we think it is.
All right.
And then Jake will tell us to open our eyes, and we will explain why we are saying that person.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Jake,
Can I
I'll give
pick
you
myself
these
if I'm the right?
You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
If it is the right.
Okay.
All right, so close your eyes.
So they know who's cheating.
Yeah, I can see you. All right. Question number 1. Who is the most likely to answer a client call on vacation? All right, open.
Eli, for sure.
Why? Because I've done it. And
The life of a business owner.
it
right?
is. It is. I don't want anyone to not have the answers they need.
And because she's Eli.
There's
Yes.
that.
Eli doesn't leave many things undone.
No. Jack of all trades, worrier of all trades. Yes, that kind of sums up Eli. If you have a question, ask her. That's kind of how our company runs.
All right, number 2.
Close your eyes.
Who is most likely to say, I'm not working today, and then work anyways?
Open. I think that is too.
Well, you got to go
I
with
think
a
you got an
wild
argument on that, but
So the reason I think Dad is because I feel like Dad will get sick and have his like little sniffles and bad day, and he'll still get up and do whatever he had planned that day. Whereas me and Eli are normally down for the count when we're not feeling too great.
If we're sick, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a
And I think he just does it anyway,
Yeah,
whether
he
he
does.
feels like it or not. Me and you
you
are
and me are like
we're out for it.
I'm much more likely than Eli to say, I ain't doing it today and then not do it.
yes.
If
And not
it's
do
the decision to say, I'm not working today,
Right.
I'm more likely to stick by that. Eli's like, it's just one more email.
Right.
It is. Always just one more.
Right. Fair enough.
All right,
Alright.
question number 3. You don't really have to close your eyes for this one. Who's most likely to win an argument? Yeah. You
We don't have a choice, man. I don't have a choice. I try every time and I never win.
Do we need a while?
No, we don't need a why.
Yeah.
We don't need a
Yeah,
why. They
why.
see you. Exhibit A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Who's most likely to start a project before finishing another one?
Oh, I was supposed to close my eyes.
All right, you can open it.
I think a little bit of both of us.
Interesting.
It's kind of. I went with myself first, but then as I thought about it more, yeah, I can see you doing it because you taught me how to.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. Eli is the last answer anybody would ever give to this because she's going to get it done right down to the very last detail every single time.
In that second.
Pretty much. I am very much the one who will come up with some new idea that I think we should go chase. And I'm like, oh, wait, 2 weeks later, I didn't quite finish that one yet.
Just 60 projects a day. Not
Yeah.
just about, yeah.
And see, I'm going to defend my answer here.
Right.
I think you are very creative. And so I think you are a good mix between us where you will start a new project. You don't do what he does and leave the old one.
Right.
Sometimes. And
I just have 4 screens open at one
you do.
time type
So,
of thing.
but you, when you get excited about something, you want to start it, and you do, and so you often have many things going. So I
Right.
would say you will start a new project before the last one is done.
That's probably very true. Probably very true.
All right, next one. Who's most likely to know everybody in the room? All right, open.
Yeah.
I'm the marketer.
That one also pretty easy.
I had
Yeah.
to think about it for a minute.
Sales
Really?
I did. I
personality.
did have to think about it for a minute. But then it was obvious.
I'm very comfortable to sit back in
Oh,
my
it's not
chair
you.
and do my own thing.
Yeah.
You know a lot. You know quite a few
I
people
Yeah,
too.
Eli's
You
You know
tend,
quite a
pretty
few
good at it.
but when I thought about it, I was like, no, it's you. You
But
know
if we
way
walk
more.
into
Marketer-wise.
a networking,
Oh, yeah.
if we walk into a networking meeting, Kendall's
Oh,
going to
it's
meet them
Kendall.
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna know.
I'm not going to meet any of them
Yeah.
until Kendall brings them over and introduces them to
Right.
me.
Right.
And
Eli
and
will
Eli's
make-
going to about half.
She'll get about 3/4.
Yeah.
She
She'll
might
get-
get a little more than that.
She'll get her share.
She does pretty well. Like at the masquerade ball, she did really well. Introducing me to people actually. So
Absolutely.
that was fun. But
Absolutely.
All right, next question. Kendall, stop cheating and opening your eyes.
I did it the last one.
Who's most likely to remember every single detail? Yep, y'all can open.
Eli.
That's
Well,
my life. I am a
was,
details person.
I was gonna
I
say.
actually was going to argue that the other way. And so if you want to talk about the details day to day and getting them done, the answer is Eli, and that's not even close.
No questions.
If you want to ask us about something that happened on our trip to conference
Yes.
a month ago, it's entirely me.
It's totally you.
I can probably tell you what you hit in a game when you were 7.
Which is why we never win arguments ever.
Yeah.
So it's funny though, that one I actually,
Two
depending
ways.
on how you want to
Yes.
argue that one, I think either answer could be true.
I hesitated when I opened my eyes. I was like, oh wait, it is both of them really.
Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah, it just depends. If it's a meeting question, probably Eli.
Yeah.
But like real life conversations,
Yeah.
it's probably Dad.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, next question. Who is most likely to give the best advice? Okay, you can open.
I'm cheating.
I was about to say.
Okay,
I did too. Y'all are.
The best advice comes from the two of us together.
I was gonna agree with that. That's why there's such awesome owners and bosses at HomeWell. Like, there's things that might get my dad a little bit different reaction. That if I go to Eli about it, she'll be much more calm and help me talk through it a little bit more. Where Dad would maybe immediately reach to fix it. I guess y'all can explain that a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, and I pointed at myself because I'm often the voice of the synthesis
Right.
Yes.
of our conversation. I think the thing I do differently than Eli is I almost immediately always step all the way back
Right.
and try to look at all of it, where Eli is very often looking at it from the personal, more emotional, immediate.
Right.
And the good answers come when we talk.
I think you need both of those things because you
100%.
need the emotions. And I think, as empathetic as I know you are and compassionate you are, you think much more logically than we do as not only women, but just as who we are.
Yeah.
Well, it's personality.
Personality style. And, it's, you need to think logically, but you've got to play emotion into this world because it's
That's it.
people's families, it's caregivers, it's, who have huge families.
And I think the part for me is I try to intentionally step back from the emotion and make a decision.
Right.
Where I think at times you guys are more likely to let the emotion be a bigger part of the decision.
Sure.
The business we're in, if you don't have that compassion and that emotion, then you're in the wrong business because you can't win here. But you also have to make the business decision, right?
Right.
Always.
Out of the business decision.
Right. What's best
And
for
that's
the
hard.
business.
That's really hard.
Right.
But I like y'all's answer of kind of the combination because I do think that's where it comes from.
I think it's really true, and I think it's just different situations for different person for different situations.
Yes,
If
sure.
I have an HR compliance issue, I know who I'm going to. But if I have just a communication issue, it's probably better to come to Eli and her help me find that right channel, and then Dad handle it as needed in those other situations. Let's do one more question, and then we'll go back to the rest of the interview.
All right. Who is most likely to spoil the grandkids? All right, open your eyes.
That's
funny. Oh, okay.
Me?
So Jake's voted.
Really?
Are you voting me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you're a lot longer down the road from
Yeah.
having them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll definitely spoil my grandkids one day, but I was thinking of my children for you two.
Okay,
is what I
okay.
was thinking.
Asking it
So
that
you've
way.
got 2 votes though.
Well, if I was going to vote on that, I would probably say me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Okay. I love being at the ballpark with you guys. I love jumping in the swimming pool,
Right.
climbing down on. I can remember Kendall being little, sitting down on the floor, playing with the little bouncy seat. You obviously can't remember that, but of course Jake only ever wanted the ball. But so yeah. I would have to point at me if we're talking about.
Fair. That's fair. I guess I didn't truly think about it. You are a really great gift giver. You are. You are. Oh, Jake wants to do one more question. Let's do one more. One more.
All right.
Who's most likely to be right and remind everyone they were right? All right, you can open your eyes.
I raised my hand first.
Do we need to ask that one?
We know exactly the answer to that question.
That's a good game.
That was a lot of fun. So we've called each other out a little bit, but now let's talk about the bigger picture. Okay, so HomeWell as a whole, who are we? What are we? What do we do in Nashville? Like, just give the quick spiel you would give meeting somebody for the first time.
Well, I keep it as simple as I possibly can. We have 2 jobs. We have the job of take care of somebody's mom, and that's really the whole job. But I like to say our goal is to keep you safe, happy, and healthy, and wherever that is.
And Eli?
Our job is to take care of people, and that's both our clients that we're taking care of, but it's our job to take care of our employees as well. So the whole thing is about taking care of people.
What do you hope people, any people, caregiver, clients, feel when they hear the name HomeWell?
Trust, compassion, care.
And completely hypothetical. If HomeWell was to disappear tomorrow, what would you hope Nashville remembered about HomeWell?
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, the answer to most of this comes back to taking care of people. I mean,
just that we care.
We cared. That our whole goal was to take care of people.
It's really, I mean, it's a fairly simple answer, right? I mean, we would hope employees missed working here. Mm-hmm. We would hope that families said, "Man, I miss having that experience in my life."
Okay. What continues to motivate you guys, and where do you want to be in the next 5 years?
Jamaica.
I mean, the business owner answered to that. We're motivated to grow, and we've been fortunate enough to grow each of our 6 years as we've been here. And so 5 years from now, I want to say that for the past 11 years, we've continued to grow. What motivates us is that we really like the business that we're in. Right. We really like the business of taking care of people. Right. And so that motivates us to want to continue to do it. I hope our team is much larger by then, because I love seeing the team grow. And I'm not talking about the number there. I'm talking about the individuals that grow from this role over here into something greater.
Right. Okay. So we're going to do a final quick round here. So I'm going to ask both of you guys, what is one word that describes HomeWell? Just one.
Compassion.
Stole my word.
Different one.
Different. Care.
All right. The biggest lesson leadership has taught you in running this company?
I think for me, I've grown more patient with a different environment. And what I mean by that is from a corporate environment, I had very little patience with some of the more personal sides of how meetings ran, etc. And so I think learning a different type of employee group, a different culture, made me a little bit more patient as I said in a meeting going, hey guys, we've got an 11 o'clock meeting. It's 11:15 and we haven't started talking about what we were talking about yet. I think I've gotten more patient with that. And that's a leadership thing I've learned.
Right. What about you, Eli?
I think I have learned how to better teach leadership. You and I both are natural leaders. Just it kind of comes naturally to us. But how to help someone else become a leader is an entirely different skill that I continue to work on.
Right.
And I enjoy doing that. So I've definitely grown there.
All right. And then the last question I kind of have for you guys today is, why have we started Beyond the Care Plan? Why did we start this podcast? What are y'all hoping to get out of this? Kind of give an idea of how important this type of thing is.
Well, for me, it's the awareness. I had been in healthcare 30 years, basically, when we started the business. And I knew that home care was there. I didn't know a whole lot about it. And this is somebody, I'd worked everywhere from the hospital down to outpatient therapy to everything in between.
Right.
And I was aware. In this time, I've had doctors tell us that I didn't even know this was a thing. I've had families go, I had no idea you were out there. Right. And what I've learned over the years here is there's so much need, but people don't know. And I know we have families that are sitting there, oh my gosh, what can I do? Right. And so I think something like this helps get the word out of that. It gets the compassion that is available, right? The resource that is available, it helps get it out there. That's my goal for what you're doing here.
Right. What about you, Eli? What do you think about it?
My goal is education as much as anything. We are a company that asks people to allow us into their home to assist them with some of their most personal, private things that they have to do. We have to be open with who we are. Right. Trust goes two directions. So both educating on what's available, helping people figure out how to navigate this time because it can be scary. A lot of people don't have any experience and don't know what's available. So, making sure that everybody knows what they can get, but then, building that trust with the community, knowing that
building a community, though. We're building our own HomeWell community with this is how I've thought about it. And just being able to sit here and introduce all of our clients and caregivers to their owners, the company's owners, right? The people that are here and that are behind the scenes of this, the people that, are directly talking about their care every single day, I think is really important. And I think it builds a community of trust and that level of compassion you're both talking about. But I really thank both of you for being here today. I had one more little spiel I wanted to read out to you guys real quick before the video is over. I think what really is special about this conversation and this video that we had today is that we're diving into HomeWell so much deeper than a website can do. than a phone call can do, than even an assessment can do. We're actually getting to know the people behind it, right? I've had the privilege of growing up and learning from you both, and watching you guys grow as business owners, as leaders in the company. And it's been amazing and a true learning experience for me. We may not always agree on everything, and we definitely have strong personalities and can sometimes clash in meetings, but it has truly impacted me to have both of you in this company, and guiding me every step of the way. So I thank you guys for being here again. And thank you guys for watching Beyond the Care Plan. I'm Kendall Kares, and this is John and Eli Collier. Thank you.